If you've ever told yourself, I should really go through my tech setup before my next, this is for you. Because the hard part isn't putting in the effort. You've already put in the effort. The hard part is actually knowing what it is that you're supposed to be checking. And when you don't have a checklist for that, you end up opening up your laptop, going through, looking at your different technology, thinking, okay, I guess it looks good, closing your laptop, and then still having this bit of unease. Today, I'm giving you that checklist. I like to call it the 5-layer Retreat Tech Audit. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what to look for when you're setting up, where the gaps are most likely sitting, and which ones you should fix first. So before we get into the 5 layers, I want to reframe something. Because if you've done a tech audit before, you probably did it with the thing that felt the most logical, going tool by tool. Does the form work? Yes. Did the email send? Yes. Is my spreadsheet there? Yes. Great. Everything's fine. But that's not an audit. It's a spot check, and the difference matters. A spot check tells you if the individual piece functions. An audit tells you if your systems function. Those are 2 very different questions. Your registration system might be working perfectly, but if that information isn't flowing into the correct area where your team actually needs it, that right there is a gap that your spot check will never be able to find. Your confirmation email might send every time, but if it's not triggering the next piece, if nothing's coming after that, no pre-event communication, no arrival details, no reminders, then a working email is just an incomplete experience. The 5-layer audit changes the question. It's no longer asking, does my tool function? It's asking if each layer of my tech is complete, connected, and tested. Okay, so let's get into it. There are 5 layers to complete your Retreat Tech setup. I'm going to walk you through each one and give you specific questions to ask yourself. And if you want to pause and check your own setup, go ahead. This is meant to be used and not just watched. Okay, layer 1 is registration and guest data. This is the layer that you're probably the most confident about because it's the first part of registration. It's the one that you built first, but there's more to just building a form. So here's what to check. Does your form capture every bit of information that you need to know about your guest? Not just your name, not just their name and email. We're talking dietary restrictions, session preferences, accessibility needs, and travel details if that's relevant. Whatever information that it is that you need, your form should be collecting this now up front and not through follow-up emails. And once that information is collected, where does it go? Does it route automatically to wherever your team needs it? Does it go to your CRM, your planning spreadsheet, your coordination hub? Or does someone need to manually copy all that information over somewhere? And is there one place where all that information lives and stays current leading up and through the event? Or are there 3 different versions in 3 different areas and nobody knows which is the correct one to be working off of? If your registration form collects data and that information never moves, then you've got a layer 1 gap. The form works, but the layer doesn't. Layer 2 is automations and communication flow. This is where I see the biggest gap because a lot of the times this layer is only partially built out. You've got a confirmation email, but what happens after that? So here's what to check. When someone registers, does that confirmation email get sent to them immediately? Is it automatic? Is it going out without you or anyone on your team having to do anything? And after the confirmation email has gone out, is there a communication flow that's going out that's keeping your guests informed and excited and providing them with all the details they need about the event? We're talking about the pre-event emails that has logistics, arrival details, what to bring and what to expect once they're on site. Is this mapped out and automated already? Or is this something that you're going to do manually and that you're going to send out a couple weeks in advance? Because if you do it that way, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't because your agenda or your workload might get heavy and it becomes something that you just forget. And if you have set up these emails, are the reminders and the logistics going out when they're supposed to? Or are they still sitting in your drafts folder waiting for you to remember to go back in there and to press send? And this is the one that actually gets missed the most, is have you actually tested your automations? And I'm not talking just about setting them up, I'm talking about actually testing them. Have you put in a dummy email and registered as if you were your guest? Did you watch that confirmation email come through? Did you test that the following emails are going to come through? Did you test that that confirmation actually comes through immediately? Did you test that those follow-up emails are going to come through? Because the automation systems that set up but never test it is just a guess. It's not a system. So if you have confirmation emails and nothing set up afterwards, or if you have automations and they haven't been tested at all, that's a layer 2 gap. Layer 3 is coordination hub and team access. This is a layer that connects your planning to your team's ability to do their job without having to come back to you for every single little thing. Here's what to check. Does your information sit in one central location? And I'm not talking about a Google folder that has a million different documents within it. I'm talking about a structured hub where they can find the guest list, the run of show, the vendor contacts, the timeline, and any additional tasks that need to take place in order for this event to happen. And is that hub current? Is it getting updated as decisions are being made? Or is it being updated 2 weeks out because suddenly you realize that all the information there is old? And does everyone on your team know where it is, how to use it, and what it is they're responsible for? If your team's access to information depends on them asking you, texting you, or having to look through millions of emails, then that's a layer 3 gap. And it quickly becomes perhaps the most expensive gap, because for every bit of information that can't be found, that's coming to you and pulling you out of the room. Layer 4 is vendor and logistics tracking. This is the layer that keeps the physical and the logistical parts of your event organized. And it's often scattered across sticky notes, emails, and text messages rather than being in one location. Here's what to check. Is every vendor, every contact name, every confirmation document located in one central location that your team can access? And can your team member reach out to a vendor directly without them needing to go through you? Are your logistics current and accessible? Catering headcounts, room assignments, tech equipment, setup notes, are those all documented or are they still living in your head? Do you have a run of show that is complete, specific, and shared with everyone else? And I'm not talking about a rough outline. I'm talking about a detailed information that tells your team exactly what is happening, when, and where, and by who. If vendor details are living in your inbox and they have to go through you, then you have a layer 4 gap. And layer 5 is post-event system. This is the one that is easiest to skip because by the time you get to the end of the event, you are tired and you're ready to be done. You're relieved, and the last thing you want to do is set up another system. But this is an important one because it sets up your next event to be even better. So here's what to check. Is there a follow-up email that goes out to your guests after the event has concluded? A thank you note, a feedback request. And is it automated or is it something that you intend to do manually? Is feedback being collected in a structured way? Not in a, I'll just read the comments type of thing, but in a way that gives you data so that you can use that to prepare for the future. And is what you learned from this event being captured so that you can use it and apply it for the next event? The things that worked, the things that didn't, the changes you'd make, is it written down somewhere? Or is it living in your memory where it will fade over time if you don't get it out? If you've never had a structured post-event process and every event that you're doing starts from scratch, then you have a layer 5 gap. And this is the reason why your tech setup never gets better between your different events. Quick pause here, because if you're going through this video and realizing that you've got some gap, I want to give you something that pairs well with this. This is my free Event Systems ROI audit. It's a self-assessment that's going to walk you through the 5 back-end areas of your event and you can see where your systems are supporting you and what areas might be costing you time and money. If it's something you're interested in, you can find the link down in the description. If you just went through these 5 layers, then you've probably found some areas that could use some improvement. Maybe even a lot of things. And the temptation now is to try and fix everything all at once. But the thing is that not every gap carries the same weight. Some of them affect your guest experience, while others, they're annoying, but they impact you and they're something that can be handled a little bit later. The goal right now is not to fix everything. It's to know what you're working with and to make smart choices on what to fix first. Here's how to think about it. If a gap affects your guest experience, you want to move that to the top of the list. A broken or incomplete registration flow, a missing confirmation email, no pre-event information, those are all gaps that your guests will feel. You want to fix those first. If a gap creates more for you and your team, but it doesn't affect the guest experience, it's important, but it's a second priority. Things like your vendor tracking being scattered or your coordination hub not being complete, those cost you time and energy and they need your attention, but they're not going to derail your guest experience. And if the gap is in your post-event systems, that's something that you can build over time. It's the layer that makes each event better than the last, but it's not going to cause any major issues if it's not ready by your next event. Start it, but don't feel fully pressured to have it all ready and complete before fixing those other 2 layers. The point of the audit is not to create a massive to-do list that makes you feel awful. It's to give you a clear picture so that you can make decisions based on what you know instead of guessing at them. And if you're going through this and realizing the gaps are bigger than what you can handle on your own, or that you'd rather have someone else build it for you so that you can focus on your content and guests, that's a valid next step too. You don't have to be the one who's doing it all on your own. Now, there's something I want to get into on the next video, because once you've done this audit, another question. You're going to look at these gaps and find yourself thinking, how did this happen? I've been working on my tech. I've invested in tools. Why is it still like this? And the answer to this is going to shift the way you think about your entire setup. Go ahead and click the video on your screen right now so I can walk you through it.